Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
I always like to ask questions. I'll let you ask questions later, and I ask questions now, so put your thinking caps on. Are you waiting up? Are you recording?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a list of names. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of these people, okay? I want to start with an easy one. Paul Revere, John Hancock, Samuel Adams, Ethan Allen, Benedict Arnold. Okay, I've added pretty much every hand. Now, now we're going to get into maybe some of you haven't heard of. Henry Knox, John Parker, Francis Smith. Not the Francis Smith. Frank. Okay. And there'll be other people I mentioned during this presentation that you may or may not have heard of that are key to the event. Now, what? Somebody's coming in here.
Hi. Coming in for the presentation?
John.
Right here.
You gotta pay a late fee to come in though.
Come on in, we got more chairs here.
More chairs here.
So originally I was asked, Mike O'Brien originally asked me to do one on Lexington and Concord. Remember my rotten response was very nasty. I said, well, I normally can concentrate on events that took place in New York State, and Lexington and Concord is kind of like next door to us. But then as I decided to do the battle, or the taking of Fort Ticonderoga, I realized Battle of Lexington and Concord was such a key part of that reason why Ticonderoga was taken. The anniversary is tomorrow, May 10th, 1775, 251 years ago tomorrow, taking, at least the first taking of it. Was the second one when the British took control 2 years later. So I'm going to talk to you about the battles, plural, Lexington and Concord. Now, how many of you, when you went to school, learned the battles of Lexington and Concord? Concord, right? It was always Concord. It's Concord is how it's actually pronounced. In Massachusetts, people will chew you out if you pronounce it Concord. Because like if you go to Stanton, Virginia, and you pronounce it Staunton, it's S-T-A-U, they get very mad at you. So battles of Lexington and Concord. Then we're going to talk about the taking of Ticonderoga. And then there was something that, okay, the taking of Ticonderoga was for a specific purpose. But that didn't take place in May of 75. That didn't take place until December of 1775. And that was, you heard the name Henry Knox, why he went out there, what he did. So we're going to go back to May, actually we'll go back a little farther. April of 1775. Last year was the big 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord. How much do you know about those battles? Was it a huge battle? Or series of battles? What do you know? What comes to your mind when you hear that though? Oh, come on. Bang.
Yeah.
Remember the shot heard around the world, right? That's what you hear in school. That's what you hear in, when I was a kid, they had this thing on them Saturday morning cartoons. Remember Schoolhouse Rock?
Mm-hmm.
These little things that taught history, and they taught you grammar, and they taught you things. One of these was a battle, a shot heard around the world, and they had these cartoons, and they showed, the Minutemen going across the sea, and King George being mad, and them dumping the tea in the harbor, and all these things. So that's my original learning of history. Revolutionary War, American colonial history was through those things. Not much in school. There were certain things in school, but I remember reading Johnny Tremaine. Remember that book? Fictional book by Esther Forbes, based on the events of 1773, the Boston Massacre, Boston Tea Party, these things leading up to this revolution. So this is the big year. And I've been doing these presentations for quite a few years, but this is the big year, 76 to 2026, 250 years. Next year, it'll all wane away. And in 2028, it'll be a little less and less. 76 is the key year because of what document? Okay, Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th by who? John Hancock, right, signed it on this July 4th. Not everyone signed on that day because they weren't all there. Just remember, these are colonies all the way down to Georgia, and these colonies did not all meet and sign. It was passed around, sent, and signed by all these witnesses to this. But
That part I
76 is the
didn't
big year
know.
because that's when we declared our independence. So that was it. We were a country that day, right? No, we had to do something.